not, y'all? I was thinking about something. Everything on this earth, the Most High gave us for free. And it was slowly, taken away from all of us, regardless of where you come from, right? The water, the air, all these things should be free. The food is free. Back in the day, like in the 1920s, 1940s, and all that, everybody had gardens in their front yard, backyard, for the people that had houses, just in regular neighborhoods, right? And people used to listen to the radio. Then after a while, TV became a thing, you know what I mean? And as TV became a thing, people wanted to be like the Joneses or wanted to be like what they saw on TV. And after a while, the so-called elites or rich people didn't have gardens in their yard. They went to the grocery store, the market. The family structures change regardless of where you come from, or, well, especially in the West, right? And as TVs became more powerful or common, they could program you with your favorite TV programs. Most of the grandparents that we have now are people that are in their, 80s, 70s. They say, I got to watch my program, right? We're getting programmed. It's in plain sight. And so whatever family structures we saw on TV, that's how our families became to be structured. And I'm not even talking about like the racial stuff where a lot of the black men were basically removed from the family structure in a lot of homes, not all of them, right? I'm not even touching on that part. I'm just saying in general. And somehow we were all convinced, or they were all convinced back then, that to be like rich people, we shouldn't have our own food. We shouldn't live off the land. And even the move to indoor plumbing, which is all good, ain't nothing wrong with plumbing, and utilities, and even the way that this country, which is really just a corporation, is set up, right? We're meant to consume. We're meant to be slaves. We're meant to be workers. So everything revolves around the dollar. It revolves around chasing after the dollar, right? But at the end of the day, if you do get rich, you just get more cars, bigger houses, better stuff. But when it's time to rest, or, that one form of dying, right? People start thinking about what's important. You're not going to be worried about paying your mortgage or buying the latest car. And don't get me wrong, I like nice things and everything, but you're not going to be worried about none of that stuff. You're going to be thinking about the time that you share with your family, the relationship you have with your higher power, where you going when you leave this place, right? And technically we ain't really leaving nowhere, but I'm just saying, like, whether it's watching sports on TV, concerts, your favorite celebrities, everything's a distraction to keep you from thinking about what's important. Just thinking about that just now. But yeah, just a thought. We definitely all need to get back to some form of being sufficient. I'm not even going to say self-sufficient, because we need each other, right? I'll call it being Yah sufficient for me. Because at some point, when they turn off the grid, we're going to need people with resources, people with skills, different trades, right? And depending on whatever you believe in, there is going to be a second Exodus. while we're alive and breathing, for those that don't take the mark of the beast or don't want to be in the matrix, as I call it. So we're going to be depending on each other, all the like-minded individuals. We're not going to have time to fight and debate over, the stuff that ain't that important. None of that stuff is going to matter. It's going to be more about survival. But if none of us are prepared, if none of us have the oil in our lamps, if none of us know the word, well, we know it's people that will be prepared and will know what's going on. But if the majority of the people aren't somewhat ready, at least mindset, because everything else, if you believe, right, will fall into place. He's going to take care of us. You're going to run out of food and supplies. You're going to run out of physical stuff at some point. But if your mind isn't ready, if your spirit isn't ready, what you going to do? Do you think you'll end up taking the mark? A big part of it is our actions, right? What we decide to do. Will you be one of those people that will do anything to stay in the beast system? Because those who deny our Father who's in heaven, I just know one thing. I never want to hear, I never knew you. Those are the scariest words in existence. Why fear those who can kill the flesh, right? When you need to be respecting the one that is in charge of your soul. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's just something I was just thinking about. And if you have eyes to see and ears to hear, you know what I'm talking about too. But the biggest thing is your mindset ready? Is oil in your lamp? Have you been reading and studying the word? And this is for me too, because I sure don't be reading like I should be, and have been distracted with lots of things that I shouldn't be distracted with. You know what I'm saying? So just a little something to think about in the days that we're living in right now. But just how much the technology has changed from radio up until cell phones, chips and body parts, and even the cell phone actually being a part of us. And it's too much to explain right now. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. And it's a weird thing to even think about, but it is. It's happening right now in real time. They can do things to the body with these devices. I know it sounds weird, but that's another topic for another day. But yeah, it's about our mindsets, being close to the Father, keeping His commandments, because a lot of the stuff is in place for our own safety and our own good, and we didn't even realize it this whole time. We didn't even realize it. So, but yeah, that's all I wanted to say, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.